Alright, hi. So I just wanted to do a quick video and talk about again this idea of the gospel. What is the gospel? And dying to this idea that Christ coming back is the goal and what's going to restore the earth. Because when you look at the gospel, there's two frameworks. One of framework that I used to have, one of escapism and one of inheriting the world. Because when you look at what the gospel is, the gospel that was preached even in the Old Testament was never about really dying and going to heaven. No, it wasn't about dying to heaven. It was about inheriting the earth, starting from heaven and coming down to the earth. It's the fact that we've been seated with Christ in the heavenly places, and it's earth being colonized. It's a colonization project of earth until it looks exactly like heaven. Father, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It is really the restoration of all things, like in the verse in Acts where it says that even heaven is retaining Yeshua. It's keeping Yeshua until restoration of all things, which is our responsibility as sons of God to be solutions to the world. Because again, in Galatians 3:8, it says that the gospel was preached through Abraham, and there's nothing about the idea of dying and going to heaven that God preached through Abraham. No, he told him that he would create a nation. And when you look at the Old Testament, there are many verses that talks about the glory of God being manifest all over the earth. As the water covers the sea, so the glory of God will cover the earth. Again, this idea of starting from heaven down to earth. And then this where there's this switch, when there's this idea of heaven is up there, it's this separation. Yeshua comes and he restores the message. This idea that no, don't you know that ye are gods? Don't you know that the kingdom of heaven is within you? The heaven that is supposed to manifest in the world. Humanity is the temple of God. Humanity is the gate between heaven and earth, where heaven is supposed to blossom, to fill the earth from within us. Arise and shine, the verse in Isaiah. Arise and shine because the glory of the Lord shines upon you. There's this light in us that's supposed to rise and be an example to the nation. And when we talk about the glory specifically, there's one time in the New Testament when the first time it talks about Yeshua manifesting the glory of God. When was it? That was when he was doing his miracles. When he did his first miracle, that was the first mention of the Yeshua manifesting the glory of God. When he was using his divine essence to manifest in the world. As when he was healing and casting out devils. In this video, I want to talk more about the testimonies I've had of healings and casting out devils, where I've seen people's life being changed in a positive way. And understanding this framework that it's not Christ outside of us that is going to save us. It's Christ in us. It's this divine nature, this divine essence that we learn to walk in sonship, where we become solutions to the world. And again, when we talk about Christ in us, and that is actually what the gospel is. It's the message that was hidden from generations before the foundations of the world, that was revealed to the disciples and to the saints. Christ within all of humanity, because no, Christ is not entering people's hearts as if they were separated from them. No, Christ was always inside of them. And it's not just Yeshua, it's really Christ, this Christic nature. They say, I don't remember, there was the time where I heard the audible voice of God, an experience I had where audibly I heard God establish me my identity, defining me as the Son of God. Tell me the same thing that Yeshua was, is this idea that I am. As he is, 1 John 4:17 says, as he is, so are we in this world. And basically we're called to be not Christians, but Christ, Messiahs, answers, solutions. To break the chains of the oppressed, to heal the sick, and to rid all of creation of every form of death. It's the death that is meant to be defeated physically, but also financial death, poverty, relationship death, every form of trauma, of illness, physical, mental, all of that from our spirit, soul, and body, everything being filled by the glory of God, by this divine essence, as if you were filling a water bottle, a dirty glass full of water until it just overflowed and cleaned up the glass fully. That is a salvation, that is a restoration of all things that is happening in us, where where heaven and earth are going to look exactly like twins. So again, there's this escapism that says we've been given this false in Christianity we get this false finish line where we think, okay, I have a set of prayers, now I'm avoiding hell and I'm going to heaven when I die, right? Actually, you're not supposed to die. You're supposed to live and conquer death and bring heaven. You start from heaven. You don't go to heaven when you die. You start from heaven. And it's learning to live out from these realities and down to earth. Again, next videos I'm going to go more deeply on the subject of hell, which is something that had to be deconstructed from this idea of, short answer, fire isn't meant to be burning you forever and ever. That's a lie. Fire is a purification process that we go through as we're alive and can go through after that too. And I also will talk about some of the experiences I have with healing and casting out devils in people and seeing actually how the potential that we carry as sons of God to actually help the world. There was that time I gave a word from God, a prophetic word to another person. It was somebody where I saw really that God was calling that person into political field to influence that realm, because there are so many realms in music. We need sons of God in the music industry, and as artists. I know a friend of mine who's an artist who's seen miracles happen through her paintings. And I've heard about, also met people who had healings and casting out devils through their music, through art, music, architecture. I'm just learning how much architecture could affect the psychology of people. To what else? Maybe even sports, who knows? Every single field, and God is interested in all of them to influence. It's a culture, the heavenly culture, that is supposed to be present on the earth. That's the goal, that's the embodying of heaven, not the dissociating, the leaving the physical. No, it's the embodying of the physical, the spiritual, filling out the physical. Remember, the goal is really inheriting the earth. It's not escaping. That's what the gospel was. There's a verse in Romans 8, I think verse 23, or between 23 and 30, that says that the whole of creation is groaning, is waiting for the revelation of the sons of God, which Yeshua was only the first of many. Yeshua, who said, if you believe the things that I did, you'll do greater. Yeshua was the framework, the second Adam. He was the new model, the new Adamic model. This image of the Adam that, who was it, that Leonardo DiCaprio? No, not Leonardo. Da Vinci. This image that you have of the Adamic man, the model. Well, Christ is this new figure. He's this new framework that we're supposed to follow after. He's the new Adam, the new prototype. And this is really, sonship is growing into that form, into that shape. It's starting from this abundance, from fullness, from being exactly like him. 2 Corinthians 3:18. When we look as in a mirror at Christ, we are being transformed from glory to glory by the Spirit of God. So that's that process. And as we are transformed in us, then all of creation is also transformed, transfigured. As we go through our transfiguration, so does creation go through its transfiguration. So yeah, next video I'll just giving some more testimonies to actually make all these ideas a bit more physical. Now I feel like I'm just at the beginning of that path even, where I needed to have a lot of deconstruction and reconstruction, but hopefully I can help people get into a more kingdom framework mind instead of a Christianity mind where it's often we're cut off from its abundance. We're always expecting God on the outside to fix things, Christ on the outside to fix things, when, maturity is when God looks at us and says, okay, you guys are supposed to take care of the earth. This is your inheritance. The heavens belong to the Lord, but the earth belongs to humanity. But he just gave the earth in the hands of humanity. Yeah, so that's about it for today. This is really this need to change the framework and to understand that Christ is not going to come and fix things for us. That's a no-no. He's waiting for us to fix things before he comes back. So the ball's in our hands. It's in our court. Peace.